Hey, everybody. We're waiting to get started. If you are joining us right now on um, YouTube, thank you, or my website, angelafaymore.com, don't forget that this is Facebook Live originally, so it's going to be really weird here at the beginning. Feel free to fast forward till we actually start making some sense on there.
And actually, if you're going to wait for us to start making sense, you can just go ahead and press stop right now.
And please know that we are really, really tickled that when you share it. We went from like 300 views to like 1,500 last or 1,600 last week, which was shocking. That's not including, YouTube, and it's not including my website, just on Facebook. So it was just exciting. And so please feel free to share if you want to. If you don't want to, just don't.
Remember to do the comment thing.
It's not showing me where to do the comment thing again.
To do it.
Nope. Let's see. Let me try. As usual. Oh, that ain't it. So y'all can start doing some comments if you want to, and I will sit here and pretend that I know how to make it happen.
So we are, as promised, we're on location at MACA, McDowell Arts and Craft Association in downtown Morganton. In Marion, sorry. Morganton's my hometown. Anyway, we've already had some weird stuff happen as we were getting set up. Hey, everybody.
Hey, oh my goodness.
Happy Halloween to everybody.
Happy Halloween. And wow. You see what I did there, Kim?
Hey,
in case I forget, I put a test comment and they all popped up.
Okay. So we're at MACA, and this is Metaphysical Matters with Angela Moore. I'm Kim Clark, and Angela hit the door in this place today like a crazy freaking woman. I think you lost 3 things before you got totally in the door.
Found one of them in my cleavage.
And anyway, and we had a lot of drama about I got to have this and that. I'm dying right now. And then later, when you got calmed down, you said you were already kind of getting in the zone.
Yeah. Whenever I have sessions and new people come, I get really, really hyper sometimes. And I always apologize in advance for all my nonsense for every session, because what's going to happen is I don't know. I get in the zone and I get kind of out there. But for some reason, coming here today has put me in the zone. And as you know, Kim, I have done several presentations here. Haven't done one in a while, but you actually remembered this place. And I'm so glad you did, because this is the perfect place for us to do our Halloweeny thing.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about it being kind of spooky. I know the Historical Society has had it on their ghost tour the last couple of Halloweens. And
oh, God, it's okay. I saw a figure moving up there.
We were totally spooked already.
That is a frosted window, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the girl that works here. But we've seen orbs already, and we've seen weird lights flashing. And before I even got in the car to come down here, I was so nervous. It's like my blood veins were shaking.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I think just coming here has just created a really big influx of energy that's caused me to kind of do whatever it is I do. And obviously you get affected you're very sensitive to things. So it does not surprise me at all. And I've got my phone here. I wouldn't, Kim, at the end of this, if we can, I wouldn't mind, unplugging it and turning it around and maybe walking around just to see what happens at the very end there. And then we can flip it around and say goodbye to see if we can record anything on here.
Okay. Cool.
Also, I will issue a gentle invitation. Why does that word not come out of my mouth right? To any friendly spirits that would like to leave EVPs on this while we're talking. Of course, we won't hear them.
Right.
But on playback, they might. And I've got my phone here that I thought I might try to record some stuff just randomly. And, of course, if I get anything, I will definitely upload it later.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the history of this place as some supernatural activity. Well, I'm going to rely on you to tell some of the stuff that you know about it. But I believe it was a couple or 3 years ago that the M&D paranormal people came here and went down in the basement. And from what I've read, they picked up quite a bit of activity down there.
You know who doesn't go to the basement? You.
I suggested the basement. She's like, no way. We're not going down there.
People, I guess, don't get this because this is my world. This is where I live. I see, feel things, know stuff. It happens around me all the time. So I don't want to actually, put myself in a place where I could get overwhelmed. because I could get overwhelmed. And then I might go, and actually I've done this before, and it's like I feel like super person and nothing bothers me. I mean, it's like I'm like weirdly powerful, nothing. But then later, it's like it comes back, and it's like, oh my God, what happened? You know, it's like so it really it's hard for, I'm too sensitive. I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, the girl who works here full time was just telling us before we came here to set up. We're backstage, by the way, or on stage.
We're on stage behind a curtain.
Yeah. She was telling us that the spirit that's here, they hear noises and that kind of thing. They don't feel threatened, and she said that actually the spirit here is helpful if they're putting on a production. Mm-hmm. And they want a certain kind of wardrobe, like a certain kind of shoe. They'll go into the wardrobe room and just say, "Hey, will you help me select blah?" And it will show up, tumble out, just their attention be called to it or whatever. So they actually communicate with one of the spirits all the time, and it's helpful to them. I thought that was pretty cool.
I think that probably is the young fellow that was actually a client of mine, a very nice young guy, and he perished way too soon in an accident. And
he was in a fire.
Yeah, he moves the they think they used to move a trash can around here all the time, and that now they actually move it in his honor. But I would not be a bit surprised to find that he's not here on opening night, maybe of their plays, or just randomly to help with things. I think that he would be the kind of person who would enjoy that, not a creepy ghost, but a higher level spirit that would just like to help. And there is a difference. You got many levels. You got some people that are, I want to say maybe given a choice. I had a client tell me, I don't think he would mind us, that he had a choice because he died on the operating table or something, but he obviously came back to either go on, stay, or go in spirit. And I think that maybe some people are given a choice to stay, not as a higher level guide, but they're just not ready, and maybe they just avoid the light because they're not ready to go. There's stuff that they need to finish, and I think those people sometimes, like I said, are confused, and sometimes are not confused. They are very well aware, but they're in and out of time. The way I sense them, they are like time is everything's just right now. Everything's just right now. Eventually, I think some spirits like that will just fade away over time. But I think like a lot of people maybe that are in spirit relive certain events over and over and over and over and over too, like Gettysburg, for example. And then some spirits are just very, I don't know if there's such a thing as a non-haunted theater. I think some of them are very drawn to the theater of life and death, and maybe this is just a really cool place to hang out. As we talked before, a lot of hospitals, stuff like that, anywhere people live and die, I guess they're going to be haunted. But theaters, they tend to have that vibe. Okay, and I just want to point out that some of this is because she's wearing white. Okay, we know that. But there's also an aura around her that I also think is because we kind of did some testing. I don't think it's all because of that white. And I just think she was also doing that shrinking thing earlier. It's like Fun Size Kim was making an appearance that we talked about before. I'm just throwing that out there for your amusement. But also we saw, no, it's on this side. I swear I can't stand it. Let me just not look. On this side, okay, orbs. I saw several there, and I saw one in the middle. And orbs can be dust and bugs, but we're not doing anything really at this point. Well, the fan it's raking up dust, I'm sure, but it's been on a while. But it was. There's also a flash behind my head that keeps going off. Then I noticed it stopped, and now it's back again. And I don't know if there's anything to it. I'm just pointing it out. And yes, spirits do travel in orb-like form. It's the most, in nature, common form.
Okay, that's interesting. I can just tell you how I feel right now. I got, for a minute, I got that kind of wavy, lightheaded thing that I get.
I'm feeling drugged.
Yeah. And
I feel drugged.
And I feel really panicky almost at this moment.
Okay, back up. You're too close. Whenever a spirit gets too close, your body will panic. And I do feel, because I feel like I'm going to have to lay down and go to sleep all of a sudden.
Our show's over. See you later.
Back up, everybody. You're too close.
We haven't got any comments in the last few. I don't know if there's something we can do to refresh.
I think they're right here.
There we go. Bunches of folks. Hey.
And look at there. There's James Moore saying hey to somebody. Oh, there he is. And they're saying hey to somebody else. And I am going to say, James Moore was supposed to be up here. Weren't you, James? with my phone, walking around and gathering EVPs for us while we were online. And guess who didn't come?
Okay, let me ask you. You used to do on a regular basis presentations here. Why did you stop?
Well, by the way, I'm going to turn on my voice recorder a little bit. I will be doing this randomly just to see and invite anybody that would like to speak on here for future reference. Well, I tell you, I enjoy doing it. We'll be quiet for a minute. Hold on. Let me see. I feel like there's something here. Do you want to say something? Say it to this phone right here. Everybody, and we'll be quiet for 5 seconds. Didn't see anything show up, but we'll see. Okay. Dylan was up here with me because, at that time he was a lot smaller. He was about 8 years old. And he'd sit up here in color or whatever while I'm doing my presentation because that's the way we roll. We just put him right there in front. But anyway, he's not afraid of anything, and he's colored, and he's happy. And he told me, "Come here, Gigi," and I did, and he whispered that he heard something growl.
Wow.
And I don't like that. That is not a ghostly thing. It could be a prankster ghost, it could be, but that's more of a demonic entity, which, don't freak out by the word demonic. That just means basically a wayward entity that's non-human. And some can be evil. Their whole purpose is to thwart your purpose, to steal your spirit or whatever, but to steal your joy, to bring you down a bad path. If they could take your body, I'm sure they would, but some are just more or less mischievous and just like to cause trouble and make it get attention. But regardless, I just felt like, you know what, I might do another one here someday. I might. I feel better. I might. But I definitely felt like I need to take a break because I don't like stirring up stuff. I stir up stuff in my existence, okay? That's what I do. But, I don't want to make a habit of it.
So there was a story, too, about a water bottle. Did we do that one?
When we were having that session up here, it was the one, I think it's the same one with the growly. And when I say session, I mean the paranormal presentation. The presentation that I did on dreams is what I think it was. And, I always try to bring snacks. And I brought one of those 2-gallon jugs of water that, it's got a little spigot thing on it. And that's heavy. And it's on a counter out there. And it is not a slick, wet counter either. It is dry. There were chips and stuff sitting out there. And I didn't see this, but everybody came running back in to tell me that thing got pushed off that counter.
Wow.
That happened. And so that's the one thing that I experienced, which I didn't personally experience it, but I was here when it happened. And of course, I did not hear the growl, but my kid did. And my kid is highly psychic. And I have no idea that something was just trying to mess with him. He wasn't really wanting to leave or run away. He just was kind of like, why am I hearing this kind of thing?
Well, is there anything else you wanted to say about your former client who you think is here?
I think that he is a higher level spirit. I'm not worried about him. I think that he is, if he does make an appearance here, and I think he probably often does, I think it's as a higher level spirit. I do not think that he is a ghost that's trapped or anything like that, just somebody that likes to visit. And I do think, however, that there are other things going on here that have nothing to do with him or anybody else. I think that there's something like I don't know, maybe with the property. This used to be Rose's department store.
Right.
And I used to run downstairs because, I could still see it all in my mind, the pets and everything, where everything was and all. And the dolls. Oh, my God. I didn't have very much money. So I always go to where the cheapo stuff was.
But, I think you told us, or maybe just me one time, that a place of commerce can be considered a portal.
So any place can be a portal. Any place can. I think it depends on the energy of the earth, the way, people dying and all this stuff is definitely will open a portal. See, my house where I live now, there was a fella died in my kids' room, and I had to go in there not too long ago because I didn't like going in there at all. And then it got better, and then it's better. But then I was in there one night, and he's going to sleep, and I could feel it. I mean, I'm telling you, I could feel it, and I had to say, you need to leave because I cannot live like this, blah, blah, blah. And it did. It left, and I was so grateful. And most of the time you can. Most of the time you can take authority with them. You can. And again, most of the time they're not trying to scare you. It is just that your body is not meant to house but one spirit, and you get another spirit too close, it will. Again, you can have mischievous entities who can do some. Greg was his name. I was trying to remember his name and I could not remember it. But anyway, I don't want to say anything that would be, seen as disrespectful, because he's got family, and I don't want to talk about too much about, stuff that is would be unpleasant for his family. It's like us down there talking about our family member, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't even want to talk about. Your body will panic if another spirit gets too close, and sometimes you can just say back off. And sometimes they know what they're doing and they will attach, and they usually attach here, and I don't know why, but they do. And so if you ever feel like somebody poking you or doing something to the back of your neck, that's because they're probably trying to attach so that they can suck your life force right out, whether it's intentional or not. But your body does have a natural shield, and it will drop off eventually, but you might experience extreme depression. And if that's the case, you have to say, you have to get off. I told you that happened to me before, and it's like I was weeping and I didn't even know why. It was bizarre. And then of course it fell off or whatever, and it's like, oh, that's what that was. That's what that was. And I've told you before about how to cleanse your energy to your friend or whatever. Just take your hands. Golly, damn, you're exuding some energy, old gal. I don't know what's going on, but you are like that. You scrape it, you do that. Don't make things hard, people. You don't have to go pay somebody $1 million to have some sort of weird ritual done. People are supposed to do this for each other. We give away our power because we think only a very special person can do it. No, you can feel things. You got to look, do this, somebody. And then feel your hand. You feel it push up. You feel it right there. Okay. Sometimes they'll push you across the room, and sometimes there'll be a vacuum and actually suck in. I think I got this look at your shoulder. I'm so sorry.
Our next broadcast is going to be from the hospital as I get my shoulder worked on.
I want to talk about mirrors, by the way, at some point.
Okay. I just wanted to acknowledge what Karen wrote here about the guy who's here at the museum. I mean, at the theater that we're talking about. Karen is actually affiliated with the museum, but she was just talking about how she had some synchronicities with some things that they shared, and sometimes that's how a spirit may communicate with you.
I'm going to tell you something else about this guy, and I don't think it's bad, Karen. Since you brought it up, I'm going to tell you something else too. I think he was helping me. It was bizarre because I was having my fire alarm go off randomly at my house, the one upstairs and downstairs, as if somebody was setting them off. The one upstairs was not plugged nor wired in, no batteries.
Wow.
It was going off, and then that one downstairs was going off. And every time it did, immediately almost somebody would be at the door who had lost a person, a son or something. It was bizarre. And I'm thinking, what is going on? But it did it for several days. And then this girl came to see me. And guess what? She was the girl who came to see me with him. And then it stopped. And I didn't even recognize, I don't remember anything. I don't recognize him. I don't remember things. I'm pathetic in that way. And she came in and it's like, oh, she told me, we saw you before and this, that, and the other. And I thought, that's who's been doing this. And then, like I said, since it quit. And I felt like he was just saying, hey, I'm here. I guess what? Somebody's coming. It's going to need your help. But he was coming because she was coming. Because no more. It's no more now.
Well, I just wanted to share one other thing about Maca. And this is something I told you last year, year before. You guys may know if you live around here. At Halloween, they do Night of the Singing Dead. Well, they have in years past. And it's just a fun little theme. And it's just entertainers who passed away, like Frank Sinatra, Judy Garland, et cetera, et cetera. And that's pretty much it. Some of them are kind of ghoulish, some aren't. But Ellen and I came here for that 2 years ago. And when we came, I was just happy, we're having fun. And within 30 minutes, I started feeling bad. And we left early. And when we started up the sidewalk, I stopped and I said, Ellen, you've got to get whatever this is off of me. I felt like I was just covered up with something.
You're too sensitive. You're way too sensitive.
And that was right after the paranormal investigators had been here. And I think you told me, you're like, they stirred up something.
We're going to stir it up too. And I'm actually going to put
out. But we're leaving.
See, I don't mind to stir it up. I want to say, if there are any helpful, nice people in spirit that would like to show up here or to make EVP, we are asking you to go ahead and do that. If there's something you'd like to say, And if you're a naughty, mischievous spirit, you're actually, it's okay if you say something too, but you're not allowed to touch us. Okay.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. I noticed that all the orbs and everything stopped immediately upon turning this on. It's like they're trying to make a fool out of us.
Well, who knows what we'll see when we watch
wait a minute. I'm going to do another. Go ahead. Say what you're going to say. I'm going to do another thing here in a minute.
I was just saying, who knows what we may see when we watch this back. Well, I wanted to turn away from Maca for a moment after you try to get that going.
Okay, we're going to do an EVP. It's 5 seconds or so. It's all be quiet. You too, be quiet. Something just popped.
We got something.
It's very, very short, but it popped. Okay, go ahead.
Well, you said you wanted to talk about mirrors.
Yeah. Okay, I posted this weird thing. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
You know, talking about EVPs, I could tell real quick. I may have mentioned this before. One time I was doing a video of you painting the Bantam chef for Easter.
Yeah.
And she was talking, and I was using a field recorder, and I picked up an EVP, like a woman whispering. It was really weird.
Yeah, it was. So I think those things, sometimes people want to like science it away, but I really do think that 90% of the time they are actually what they seem to be. I think they are actually a break maybe between worlds where those things can leak through. And sometimes it's not necessarily ghostly. Maybe sometimes it's out of time. Maybe it's somebody from the distant past, somebody from the future. Maybe it's a place where just energy just kind of goes and comes and goes and comes. I have no doubt.
Well, and right there, if you guys, again, if you know Marion, there at the Bantam Chef, you're right across the road from the big cemetery, the big city cemetery. And what is right beside of that? A whole bunch of high voltage power stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff that I think could be creating all grades of energy that could open maybe a portal. And yeah, that's where we're talking about mirrors. This weird thing happened. I posted, I think I sent it to you too, this video. It's somewhere on there, Slab Tam on YouTube, and I like to watch weird videos, okay? And this one thing was this little kid looking in a mirror, and then the reflection did something, and I'm thinking, okay, it's probably made up. Probably it's somebody just made it up. I don't know if they didn't make it up. Let me tell you, it is freaky. But I wasn't expecting to have, after that, this thing happened where people were commenting that they've had weird experiences with mirror. And what really got me was my daughter actually commented, said that she looked at a mirror at her boyfriend's house and she said it just wasn't her. She didn't know who it was, but it wasn't her. And I want her to elaborate more on that. But I've had a couple of other people also say that somebody said that they had looked in the mirror and they being able to come back up, but when they come back up, their image hadn't moved. It's like it was frozen. So I'm thinking that is weird. I really am enjoying those stories. I would like to hear more about people's mirror things. Now, I have looked in a mirror, and I've told you about how to do a soul contact, where you kind of look at somebody. If you gaze at yourself in a mirror, your face will change. It's a psychological phenomenon. However, having said that, I think there is possibly also a thing that could happen where you could see your past lives, or you could see spirit. I think maybe you just have to know what you're doing in order to maybe get to see what you need to see. There's some people now that will put a mirror up high. You sit with, a dimly lit room, and you get very quiet, and you kind of look at this mirror, and they swear and vow and declare that they see their spirits of the dead come through that mirror. And by the way, this is Halloween, as you know, but it is the day when it's Halloween for a reason. This is the day when the veil between worlds is thin. It is very thin. And I do think that spirits do come and go. Also, by the way, you can get like nausea. You can get lightheaded. You can get all grades of weird physical sensations when they get too close. I'm just saying it again because I just got that really weird wave of nausea that just passed. So I know somebody's here. And I feel like here. I don't know why, I just feel like here. But anyway, carry on.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, as far as themes for this week, and this is usually how we get started, but you said that you're just overrun with Libras this week.
I have never seen so many Libras come out of the woodwork in my life. it's like 6 or 7 in a row.
So what's that about?
Well, evidently it's just their turn to get stirred up. And of course we just came out rather of Libra. So maybe that's part of it, but I don't know. I always see people in bunches. It's usually birthdays. So I feel like that, and I see Lisa, I just saw a comment where she put you on there, and I will explain that. We went over to Grove Park Inn to do an event where I was a speaker, and I enjoyed that very much. But anyway, it's a haunted place, and, it had that haunted vibe. But anyway, I got to stay the night there, and I got up in the night to go to the restroom, and I was wearing a little flimsy nightgown. I was walking to the bathroom, and as I saw this image of a woman, and it said to be haunted by the Pink Lady.
Yeah.
And she was coming at me, and I saw her, and I didn't believe what I was seeing. I just kept walking, and finally I stopped and screamed. I don't think I screamed, but I did make some sound because she was over there watching and listening and knowing what was happening, which was there was a mirror on that bathroom door, and I was seeing me. And I about had a freaking heart attack. I mean, I could still see in my mind. It's like this wide with this flimsy. And I thought, she's coming for me. She's coming for me. About had a heart attack. But yes, that was not a portal incident.
And if there's some kind of portal in time, there's still people there at the Great Park Inn that are seeing you now.
It could be. Who knows? But I will tell you, I think I marked time. I mean, a place. I will tell you, if you go up highways 70 East, up that hill on 70 East, right after you're leaving Marion. I used to live in a little apartment. It's not there anymore. It's actually a car place or something now. But anyway, it's a bunch of nothing. I was so upset at one time. I'd had a breakup with my boyfriend, and I was walking down in the middle of a breakup, and I was walking down that road there, and I was so heartbroken. It's the first time I'd ever been heartbroken. And as I was going down through there, I don't know, I knew he was coming. I had too much anxiety to wait for him to get there. But anyway, I was going down. He'd come along and picked me up. But ever since it happened, I go by there sometimes. Not every time, but mostly. I do feel it's like an alternate version of myself. And I'm thinking it's not just a memory of that happening. It's like I can feel the spirit of myself there. It's like I think I almost, what do you want to say, embossed, whatever, on the fabric of space and time, that image. So I do think sometimes that maybe highly sensitive people or whatever can experience such a thing. And the area is also in such a way that maybe you can imprint on this time, space, energy of that place. Not ghostly stuff, but your emotions can actually perhaps do such a thing.
Let me ask you this. This is something that happens to me a lot and seems to be more now. And I bet I'll be interested to see if other people.
I want to speak to me. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Eva, I'd give anything to be able to communicate with my parents again. Listen, we all would, honey. I know how you feel, or my grandparents, but what you want to do is talk out loud to them. They can't. I just posted this article. Psychologists will tell you that it is actually helpful for healing. But I believe, Eva, that they can hear you. I believe they will send you and everybody else that's listening messages when you ask them. Papa and maybe some other family, maybe my guys, leave me dimes. And I know it. Oddly enough, I read afterwards somewhere, I figured this out, that dimes, because they were traditionally made of silver, and silver was thought to be the one metal that could pass between worlds, like a cat can pass between worlds. So can silver, although they're not silver now, they still seem to be able to do that. So maybe, Eva, you'll start finding dimes, and maybe you get what you ask for. Actually, Eva, you're going to get feathers. I'm sorry, this just in. Somebody, and I'm assuming it's your mother, but it's definitely a female spirit. It could be your grandmother, but she is saying that she leaves feathers, or she will. And sorry, I've had my phone on because of the EVP thingy I was doing. So do expect to have, I think, when you ask to get a validation, that's where I'm thinking of something, then I think that you can actually get what you're hoping for in some form or another. Maybe it's a dream, maybe it's something tangible. But what I want to say is I need you to just talk. Okay, Eva, I'm telling you, honey, it's going to be a dime and a feather, not at the same time, and I don't know who. Can't take it back. Or it's either a feather or a bird. sorry, it's not like I'm in the zone talking to you personally. I don't even know who that person is. I'm so sorry if I'm being out of the way, but I can't help it. It's hit me. It is a bird. Sorry. And it's a cardinal. It's non-negotiable. Whether you see it or not, can't take it back. So have that for what it's worth. I'm just saying what I'm getting. And I didn't say you've been getting it. I said it's going to happen or not. I don't know. Take it or leave it. I just feel like I need to interrupt and say it because I got a real strong vibe when I saw her thing.
Yeah, and don't
be trying too hard. Just say whatever, but talk to them. Just talk to them for your own well-being.
And don't dismiss it out of hand that you don't think it's going to happen.
I don't care. Do what you want.
No, because what I was going to say was, when my mom passed, we started finding these little tiny feathers everywhere, little skinny tiny white feathers. I still to this day don't know where they came from, but I found them all over the house, and my brother found them way up on top of where he was painting. There was just really no explanation, and I always have felt that they were from Mama. So, and I to this day have no explanation as to where those feathers came from, but they showed up after she died, after the estate sale, all up on top of everything, and we had already gone through everything in that house, and there was nothing that would have generated those feathers.
I feel like somebody was talking about this, the trace energy about that holds the memory.
You know what? That explains a lot. Because sometimes you'll
I noticed, by the way, this is going in and out like crazy now, so I do believe we are being visited, so maybe there'll be an EVP show up on here, but maybe also there will be oh my goodness,
everybody in your family has decided that this is the best time to call her.
I'm actually doing a live thing on Facebook right now, and I know I can't.
Anyway, I bet some of y'all have had the experience too where you're just going about your business, and all of a sudden this random moment from your past will just kind of pop in, and it's just like fully blown, and you can feel, like Angela's saying, it's the emotional imprint, I guess. You can feel how you felt at that time, even though it's something very minor, just kind of float in and out of your consciousness during the day. So the trace field thing, that really makes sense, the trace energy field.
And in case you're wondering, this is a person that was supposed to come to my house today in order to pick up something I was going to give to them. And that's why they're like in my driveway, like, now, why are you not answering your door? And that's why I'm trying to be rude. But, this is the way we are on here. We just roll with it, right?
Okay. Now, another thing that you said you wanted to talk about, actually, you wanted me to ask you this early on, and we're way past it. You wanted me to ask you what scares you.
I don't remember now.
I think it was a setup for some kind of joke.
No. Oh. Riding with my daughter. That's what scares me. I don't know why I had actually had that on my mind at the moment I sent you that text. That's what scares me. Yeah. People think that I'm like I live in a state of fear all the time because of the way I am and the things I feel, et cetera, et cetera. Because somebody just messaged me that said I was thinking of picking up them about the feathers. And look, Kim, somebody just texted me a picture of all these feathers that they're feeling right now. Well, you can't see it, so there ain't nothing to be done about it. She can post it or she won't. But no, I definitely pick up her because that's my niece. But I am telling you that I'm talking to her, and that's it. And, well, Eva just said that she'd have to have a big sign. Dial down your expectations because you may actually be inadvertently making it impossible for you to feel it. In other words, maybe it's like there's part of you that can't accept that they would do that. So why don't you just say, you know what, let it go. It will happen or it won't. Forget about it. But once you acknowledge that maybe this little thing is from a visit or just saying to you, hey, look, we're here. Once you just barely acknowledge that maybe it is, then maybe you won't have to get hit on the head because maybe it'll be happening all the time. Why do we do that? Why do we block ourselves from what could be wonderful experiences because we're just so scared to death that something might happen? And what makes me mad? That this was whatever me off because God, we have this big thing happen, this amazing magic thing that happened. And what do? We immediately psychoanalyze it away. And if we're not happy psychoanalyzing away, your best friend or somebody's going to do it for you. Well, maybe this isn't really this, and maybe this isn't really that. It's like we are so determined to make our world a non-magical place that that nothing can happen. It's almost like we are imprisoned on this planet, which we probably are, in this dimension, which we probably are imprisoned here. So we're not allowed to see what might be, could be, should be. And so if something out there isn't making us stay in our lane, we're keeping ourselves in our lane because we can't possibly imagine that something really, really wild and mysterious could ever happen. And it's like you see it, maybe I tell you a story, it happened. If I tell you it happened, it happened. Okay? And yet, even I will sit there, it probably really didn't happen. Stop it. Okay, anyway, I forgot. I was talking about something. I don't know. Yeah, Bruce said that was Bruce. He's so good to me. He gave me my car. I mean, I wouldn't have anything to drive.
Yeah, we need to stay in our heart center, not our heads.
Thank you. And it's not even your heart center. It's a separate part of our being. It's the part of us that's separate somehow that gets it. But yeah, Bruce flew my daughter and me to St. Louis. I swear I've been 2 trips in my life that were kind of amazing. I mean, I've been to Myrtle Beach.
Is that when you saw Stevie Nicks?
Saw her in concert, and he flew my daughter and me out there, and it was so freaking awesome. And then another client flew you and me to New York City, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm 62. I've had 2 vacations that were huge in my life, and I want one more, but at least one more before I go.
But you made Jamie get out of the car?
Yeah, we were going to rent a car and follow them so we wouldn't be confined at our hotel, and so we wouldn't have to depend on, you don't want to have to depend on somebody, make them have to leave their job, take care of you and stuff. But man, I just said no. I went back there and turned it back in because I thought something bad's going to happen. We're going to die. And so I took it back in, and we just let Bruce drive us, or Bruce's son drive us around.
Okay. You want to try to pick up something else?
I just want to say I appreciate when people like Bruce and that girl that flew us up there in New York and all that, when people have done
Tracy,
it's just been so amazing because, as I said, I don't get out much. I've got it in my mind. I want to go to Florida. And every time it seems like I want to go someplace big, some disaster happens. So I all hope Florida is still there. I just want to go in the winter for a couple of days. I just feel like I need to go on a glass bottom boat. And I want to see the Gulf because I've never seen. That's it. I have very low expectations, and I am working towards that. I was actually thinking if I went down there, maybe somebody want to see me live or something. I could, work that out.
Let me ask you a question that ties into Halloween, and it took place a couple years back around Halloween. And I want to know what was at play here. A lot of y'all know the story of Helen's Bridge up in Asheville. Long story short, a woman up there in the 20s lost her daughter in a terrible fire. And it's up on Bowcatcher Mountain. And she was associated with the Zealandia estate that was up there. Anyway, part of Zealandia burned down. Helen's daughter was killed. And then later, Helen was so distraught, she hanged herself from that bridge, Bowcatcher Mountain. And now, supposedly, you go up there and you can see Helen. But some of the things that happen, people do see orbs and they feel scared, like there's something not good up there. But people's cars don't start, or their car radio will change channels all by itself. Well, one of the girls from Mountain Gateway Museum was over at my house recording some stuff for Halloween, and then I aired on WNCW. And she recorded a story about Helen's Bridge. And she told this story, and I was quite taken by it. I hadn't heard all the details before, and I got pretty spooked out. Anyway, she left, went on about her business, and I went out to start my car, and it wouldn't start. Yeah, figures. So what is happening there?
They do draw from batteries, honestly.
But what route did that spirit take to get into my driveway? I wasn't anywhere near Helen's Bridge.
Travel through thought. She linked with you. They travel through thought. Listen, I found this lost guy in China for somebody. I'm not making this up. The Chinese people that I'm referring to, who I love dearly, came to see me because they've been seeing me for like almost 30 years. And it just blew my mind that they were reminding me all the times they've been to see me and things I told them and whatnot. It was helpful because I always feel like I just feel like I don't know anything. Did you see that? Was that my eyes, or did the whole thing just go blurry? Maybe I might be having a stroke. I've been anticipating for a few years now. But anyway, they're just so good to me. And I'm so appreciative all these people are so good to me. But anyway, they come to see me, and she told me about, finding that guy over there in Taiwan. Well, how did I do that? I thought about it. Now, that don't mean I'm going to find your relatives on here. I might, but I don't claim to do nothing like that. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes I don't claim anything. I'm just some hillbilly on the side of the road that'll talk to you and tell you what I feel. And maybe it's something, and maybe it ain't. But anyway, whatever. This, I feel weird. Sorry. I just feel like something's kind of messing with my brain more than usual. What was I talking about?
Finding the guy in China?
Yeah, they had nothing to do with anything. Well, travel by thought.
Yeah.
If you can think it, you can be there.
But this, like, it's like it's like I got haunted by that just by reading about it.
It's because you're too sensitive. You read about it. Your energy went out and probably tap danced on her grave somewhere and pulled her in. Okay. I think that you manifested that, or since I wasn't there and it's in the past and I'm doing this, and I can't be sure. You actually maybe even got a pretender spirit, but I feel like your energy just went out there and inadvertently pulled somebody in. Okay. There are wayward entities that roam the earth that look for things to do. So it doesn't mean that just because you were thinking it's Helen, who I don't feel is confined to that place, but maybe she does. I don't know anything about it. Do a repeat. To her, it's always the first time, though. To her, it's always the first time. It's like a repeat in time. And she may even move on, and there still may be, again, that scar in time that carries on. So it's residual, a residual energy of something that is she's moved on, but this scar in time keeps replaying, you might say. But you may have invited a pretender spirit. Your reading could have opened a door. But see, we do all grades of things, I think. You watch a scary movie. Then later, you're jumping all over things at your house. You think you're seeing stuff, and you think, oh, it's that scary movie I watched. It's making me imagine things. Or maybe by watching that scary movie, it opened a portal, and your energy opened that portal, and maybe it allowed some stuff to come through. I even wonder if all the ghost shows and everything we're seeing on TV now may go into millions of homes, may not be opening portals left and right just because they're being there. And I just saw that energy move behind me again. So it'll be interesting to see if y'all are seeing shadows or anything that comes up on recording later. For sure, let us know.
Gosh, I wonder some of the really gruesome and spooky movies that come out are inviting in some kind of energy on purpose.
I think they might be, maybe on purpose by them, maybe not by the people who make them and do them. Maybe
because they don't know.
They're just being, doing it for funsies. But maybe there are things that direct people, perhaps, to do these things. We'll be quiet for 5 seconds. Okay, I'm going to record. If anybody wants to make a recording, do it now. And 5. That was longer than 5 seconds, but I think I got something there at the beginning. We'll find out.
Now, a while ago when you did that, I definitely saw a spike come up on that waveform.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, something else that you had sent me this week that you wanted to touch on maybe is seeing what you're looking for, forgetting the view. Does that ring a bell?
No. When I send these texts, I'm almost absolutely certain I'm going to know what I'm talking about. What did I say again? Tell me that again.
Seeing what you're looking for, forgetting the view.
I don't know what I was talking about, but it's making me think that sometimes maybe we get so focused on details that we forget to maybe step back and see a bigger picture. That's my guess. Who knows? Good Lord, I cannot stand myself.
Okay.
I do that all the time.
Don't worry about it. Now, I've got a riddle for you. What's heavier than an elephant, longer than a brontosaurus, and large enough to park 5 full-sized 18-wheelers?
I would never know if I had not glimpsed at that paper before, so you tell us.
The world's largest Ouija board, which has been unveiled in Salem, Massachusetts. And the reason I brought this up, by the way, did you know there's such a thing as the Talking Board Historical Society?
Did not know.
Well, there is, and they built this thing. It weighs 9,000 pounds. It's over 3,000 square feet. And anyway, they just wanted to break the world record, which they did. But I pulled this out because I was thinking, today's the day people might get a Ouija board out to play with. And you've cautioned us against that before. But let's say you do, or let's say you're at a party and people get it out and they think it's fun.
It can be.
Okay, but
it can be.
If you accidentally open a portal or bring something in, how do you put that genie back in the bottle?
Well, sometimes you don't. And, it's not like we have total control. If nobody controls me, I allow it. Okay? Nobody controls you. You allow it. If anybody's trying to control you, you're in some way, you're allowing that to happen. Barring, with people, somebody with a gun, crap like that. I'm talking in just general terms, okay? I think they kind of do what they want to do too. But I do think you can invite things in, and sometimes, I'm going to tell you something. It could also be a fun game, and every child in America has done it. It can be just silliness. It could also be involuntary muscle movements that do it, that create the illusion. It can also absolutely open a portal between worlds, and it can absolutely invite something in that maybe gets bored and goes back home. But I will tell you something, Kim Clark. Do you remember that time? No, you don't remember because you didn't even exist in my life then. Where I was cleaning up the kids' bedroom and they had what you call an angel board, and it's like a Ouija board.
Check that out real quick.
What'd she say? Somebody said they wonder what possessed them to do that. Yeah, I do believe they don't possess, but they influence.
Well, what she said was, Judy wrote, I wonder about the saying, I wonder what possessed me to do that. I believe sometimes spirits can possess you to do stupid things. And it's really interesting how much of that stuff is encoded in our language, and we don't even realize
it. It is. We don't want to realize it. We don't want to know about it. Just like psychic ability amongst the Aborigines in Australia, they can separate whatever, but then they can go meet up at some location. They know when to be there. They know where to be, when to be, and everything else because they have the dream time. In other words, they have confidence in their psychic ability. They don't think about it. They just know. They just know. Same thing with a lot of people over in the mountains that come down to see me. They are separated pretty much apart, and they just believe in all grades of things that we've kind of pushed aside, but they believe it for a reason because their experiences have taught them that, yes, people do have this ability to feel and know and see, and they have experience with spirits, and they have not sat there and analyzed it away, and their lifestyle has shown them a certain truth. But here's what happened with that angel board. I'm going to tell you this. I sit back there in that bedroom, and I just picked it up and just put my fingers on it for funsies because I didn't want to make up their bed or whatever. And so that thing moved. But I mean, it moved hard, and I thought, okay, this is that word which I don't know starts with the I that's making my muscles do this. That's what's happening. It did again, and I'm thinking, this is not my muscles. This is coming up from this thing, and then it started going like crazy over the same three letters, and I kept thinking, I felt like this is a person. Somebody's coming. This is somebody coming, and it was initials, and the initials were KMC. And that's your initials. And it was like not long after that I met you. Holy shit. See, I was being warned.
I don't think you ever told me.
This person.
I don't think you ever told me.
I told other people. So
wow.
Yeah, I told other people. So yeah, it did. You remember, I'm not going to say your middle name because I know you don't like it, but I actually love it.
It's not my middle name. My mama pulled it out of the ethers for somebody else.
It's a wonderful name that comes from a childhood book that I love.
It's Marcella.
And I love that name.
I'm not a Marcella.
I felt your name. You remember that time you were trying to guess your middle name, and I actually got it?
I know.
And I loved it because I love Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy stories. And I have a Raggedy Ann and Andy doll. And no, they are not coming to life to murder me. Although I'm starting to have a little concern about Chatty Cathy.
She's been out walking again.
She's moving around. Dylan came in there and asked me did I turn Chatty Cathy's head to my bedroom door, and I said, well, no. And he said, see, up the door, and she was looking at him, and I went in there and she was not. So who knows?
Okay, well, we're getting close to our usual cutoff time, but before we go, I did want to talk a little bit because you sent me this article a while back. Again, for you folks here in McDowell County, you probably know about that house on Hankins Road that's everybody says is haunted. And this was a story that came out in the McDowell News a while back, and it's been a rental for a while because nobody would buy it. And then people would rent it and stay like 2 months and take off. And so this one woman got really curious about what was going on and went and talked to one of the families, and they shared with her that several of the families saw a 13 or 14-year-old female child. She would come down the stairs, hang her head over the banister, and she pinched somebody and slapped somebody and scratched somebody, and then they heard tapping and all this kind of stuff, knocking. And the last family that was there at the time this article was written lived there for only 3 months, and then the woman got to the point until they could find somewhere else to live. She wouldn't not allow her kids to go upstairs, and she didn't even sleep at night. She stayed up all night and then slept during the day when the kids were at school until they could find another place to live. That's how intense it is there. And I remember you and I went there one time.
I have a memory of this.
Yeah. And we were in brave ghost hunter mode until we got there. And we pulled into the driveway and we sat there for a while. And I can't remember all the particulars because you were telling me some things that you felt, but we ended up hightailing it out of there. And we never got out of the car.
You know what's weird? One time we went on this walk where she used to live. She showed me where her and her ex-husband used to live, and we'd walk down this driveway, and there was all this stuff happening. Actually felt the guy. She went home and looked it up, and it was right. the name that I felt was actually valid, him and his property, and I said so. But I felt a lot of fairy energy, a lot of otherworldly energy. I felt like I was floating. I have levitated on 2 occasions, I think. But anyway, that's beside the point. We were walking back. We went to the car. We were sitting there, just, we were like just chat.
Like getting ready to leave.
We're getting ready to leave, but we're sitting there, and I'm noticing these little red orbs. And then I'm noticing they're out here in these woods. And the neighborhood was right across the street from us, but where we were was like next to a cemetery. And then there was a little patch of woods. And there was all these little red orbs, then these big orbs. Then this whole woods was filled with red orbs. And then they're in the car.
They got in the car.
They're in the car. The little ones was like really intense, like what you'd see maybe on a power button or something. And then the big ones like this big where you could see through. What was it? I don't know what that was to this day, what that was.
That was in Burke County in the Dysersville.
I want to go back down there. I want to go back down there sometime and see if it happens again. But, I think feel that those were otherworldly entities, not ghosts. I think they were nature spirits, and I think that's the shape that they had. And if there's anybody now that, oh, golly, bum, I'm telling you, girlie, something's sitting on me right now. Oh, my goodness. I'm not taking it back. Something is like pressuring my arms and all this. Well, do a recording. Let's be quiet for 5 seconds. Nothing. Anybody's got something?
So that's you.
That was. I'll go back and check that one because there might have been something coming in between us right there, and it might not. Man, I'm still feeling that. Either I'm feeling a spirit sitting on me, or the long-awaited heart attack that I expect to happen is starting its progress now.
Well, I felt very kind of loopy during this, and I felt
there went the orb. Did anybody just see that? Did anybody just see that orb that just went down through there?
Every time you see an orb, I'm looking away.
Well, come back, orb, and do it again. That's where I've been seeing them the whole time. And before we started, there was one that went between us, and it was huge. And like I said, orbs sometimes are just orbs, but I don't feel that they're just, I think they're actually spirits. And I'm the worst to analyze things away, but I believe there's something here. I do believe there's something here.
After you lecture us.
I do, because I aggravate myself. I aggravate myself to death. I could probably be rich and famous instead of just poor and mildly famous in certain circles if I could just get over myself.
Those certain circles are pretty cool. Wouldn't y'all agree? I was just reading what Kelly.
Did you see that? Do your pen. That might be your pen. Okay. Go ahead.
Kelly wrote that her mom bought her an angel kit and she never opened it because she got creeped out about it after her mom passed and felt like it was negative.
If you feel it's bad for you, don't do it.
And I want to say thank you, Julie, for saying that Marcella is beautiful.
Because it is beautiful. She is right. I love that name because, again, it just reminds me of that beautiful book and those beautiful stories. But that happened. I cannot believe I didn't tell you all these years because I did tell other people. How about that?
Okay. I believe that's all she wrote.
Well, we're going
for this on-location version of Metaphysical Matters.
Okay, we're going to unplug now. I'm going to walk you around a little bit and show you. Oh, my God, my knee just sunk. If I hit the floor, do not be alarmed. It's simply my knee got locked up. Okay, I'm going to turn it around. And if anybody wants to be seen or if you want to put EVP on here, now is the time to do it. Okay, I'm asking if anybody would like to show up. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we're going to go backstage. Kim, you just lead us. Here we go, ghost hunting. And if you want to dim a light, we don't know how, so we can't turn off the lights, so we don't know how. Oh, golly, why does it hurt to be old? All right, here's the mirror. Don't be alarmed. But I'm going to show you the mirror. Okay, I'm feeling a definite creepiness right here, and it's non-negotiable. I'm definitely getting a sense of heaviness in my body. So if anybody wants to leave a message, a voice message, or if anybody wants to show up, I can't see you. I'll have to see you later. If anybody sees or feels anything, feel free to comment. It's extremely heavy. I'm actually having a little trouble breathing. And here's some dressing room and some mirrors. Very heavy energy right here. I mean, it's like I can barely breathe. Kim, how are you?
I'm okay.
You don't feel nothing?
No. Must be the main attraction back here.
Well, it could also be just simply anxiety, but I don't feel anxiety. No, I'm going to trust myself. No. Mm-mm. Okay.
I heard that.
If there's anybody here that would like to.
It's like something